What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So it's August, and that means it's another month for the window shopping episode. If you don't know what that is, every month I talk about the Central Market notable items for beginners all the way to endgame and show you the price trends, at least here on the NA server. And yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. The Heidel Ball was a couple of weeks ago, and so a lot of things have changed. Fallen God armor pity numbers have went down, meaning the armors are going to cost less, which is good for mid-game players. They gave another free pen Blackstar away, so that means prices of all Blackstars are going down as usual. A lot of other prices of things have been changed, so let's talk about that. And even if you're not on the NA server, it's probably a good idea to check all this out, just because these items I talk about, regardless of price, will probably have the same trend and everything. So, well, with that said, let's look at the Blackstars once again, because we're at the stage in the game where they kind of want to start pushing people, even like newer players, into sovereign weapons. They have given so many Tet and Pen Blackstars to the point where I think even newer players, like your first week of playing the game, you'll have a sovereign weapon. Whether it's enhanced or not, that's a different story, but at least you're going into purple tier gear. So yeah, sovereign should be here, and then upgrading it is the journey. Trust me when I say that. Okay, so with that said, let's look at these. Okay, so you know all those hammers that we got for Blackstars, like the free ones? So if you make a Tet and then use the hammers on it, you could, and it goes to pen, those are the sellable ones. But if you use it on the free one they gave you, that one is unsellable. So like if it goes on, you know, the free one, you can't sell it, you're gonna have to use it for the upgrade. Either way, that's just a small thing. The amount of silver gained is so negligible, so whatever. Let's see. Yep, the Heidel Ball does that. It tanked Pen Blackstar prices. So let's look at Awakening. I guess it doesn't really matter which one we look at. All the prices are the same. Pen Blackstars. Dude, I don't even think these are worth enhancing anymore. They haven't really been worth enhancing for a while. I think what I've seen people do is get it to Tet and then sell it. The ideal goal for that was to build a fail stack up to, like, you know, 250 ish, and then, you know, if you're trying to build a stack for Pen Blackstars, you could do that, but even then it's not really super worth at that point either. Sub weapons, let's see how this one is doing. 17. I mean, like, here's the thing, chances are it's not going to sell right away. If you do sell it, try to get it, like, it doesn't matter if it's minimum, you want to sell these, because every day, every week that passes, these just keep going down. So well, Tet Blackstars, you could probably still sell them at Tet, but, you know, I probably wouldn't try to enhance these for profit. It's not super worth. And Pen is definitely not worth enhancing for profit, because that is stupid. All right, so what I want to look at next is the Fallen God armors. So what they did recently was they lowered the pity number, the Agris essence, basically, you know, this number Agris to guarantee it. Yeah, they lowered that, so we're gonna be looking at them. Armors. This is probably the first one most people are gonna get, because this one first came out. If you were to ask me a couple of months ago, should I enhance it, the answer would have been no, just save and buy it. Nowadays, this went from like 200 down to like 130 so far. I think in the next like month or so, these are probably going to stabilize around 150-ish, and then, you know, just kind of stay there, you know, going forward. But right now, because everyone is getting their thing and then turning it into Idania armor, it's probably going to be around 150, and then that's it. So yeah, good to see that, you know, instead of what is it, hold on, instead of 50 to the Agris essence guaranteed, it's now 20. That's a lot nicer. That's even better than I expected it to be. I was saying they should cut it down in half, so it's like 25-ish, but 20 is even better. So that's a good change, actually. Yeah, so if you're at that stage of the game where you're thinking, oh, what do I do? Because I still need Fallen God armors to go to whaling and everything. Depending on if they sell those Blackstones on the market or like the silent crystals, it might be either breaking even or cheaper to, like, you know, just click those versus crons, because I believe it is a little bit cheaper if you buy the silent stones. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's called silent these thingies, and then yeah, you just click those, and then this is the equivalent of a cron stone, like using crons but a little bit cheaper. So yeah, I assume all the other gear is probably around the same price. Yeah, 130. They'll probably all stabilize around 150 or less in the upcoming months or so. So that's ice. This is a lot better, and it might actually be worth enhancing it depending on the stones. So just check that out. Okay. Next, we have Manos Clothes. So they announced at the Heido Ball that life skill gear is going to be universal, as in, like, you know how we have an like the artifact preset where you can just use them on all your characters, but like you can't use them on all of them, but you can swap between them without having to move them back and forth. It's like, you know, the fishing rod and life thingy where you could just have it set in its own tab and use it on any character. We're gonna have that something equivalent for life skill gear. So for all of you who don't have full pen gear, let's say you're all tet, this is a good change. And so I think going forward, life skill gear might go up a little bit, but you know, because people, when I say go up, I mean from tet to pen level. Anything else is probably going to stay the same because you already have the thing. So yeah, in terms of life skills, what are the best ones that I would recommend? Gathering is very strong. You make a lot of silver. That mean fishing has always been pretty good ever since, you know, a couple of years ago when they made the change. Cooking and alchemy, if you are making high-end crafts like elixirs, cron meals, harmonies and all that stuff, perfumes, then that's pretty good. Sailing exclusively if you are bartering, and well, I mean, like, if you're in the ocean, this is probably worth it for you no matter what tier. But yeah, especially if you are bartering, it makes your boat go faster. You just get things done faster. Hunting is low-key good, but you kind of have to be, it's not really like a beginner thing. So if you're getting it, it's because you already are established, and hunting has never been one of those easy life skills that, you know, like, it's good, but the investment to get into it is pretty high. And so yeah, it's one of those things you just try out. You either like it or you don't, but then yeah, there's that. All right, what's next on our list? Accessories. Okay, so we're in a weird spot right now because at the Heido Ball they announced that there's going to be accessories going past, you know, Karazad, right? But there's also going to be another method for people who aren't at Karazad quite yet or don't have it at deck. So there's going to be a new accessory going forward that's going to be a lot higher than that, but we don't know too much more information about that in terms of, like, is it going to be easy to get? Are the stones or materials to enhance it going to be easy? So that's the problem. So with that said, what I would do is, if you are currently at, like, between pen to, like, Nav on your Karazads, I would hold off another, like, week and then see what people are gonna do. Just start saving your materials and for enhancing. Save it for, you know, a couple more days, and when that change happens, you make your decision from there. If you're already at deck, then you just go forward from there. If you're not there, let's say you're at pen to Nav, just save it. And then if you aren't even at Karazad, then you're just playing the game like you're probably a new player. So you're just moving up and then wait for a week and see what happens. With that said, every single Deboreka accessory has been going down. You remember when these were max price at like 700 mil like a year or two ago? And then now this is like the lowest I've ever seen a pen Debo before. Actually, no, the lowest I've seen it was at around 60 billion, which is kind of crazy itself. But yeah, I think they're trying to push Deboreka's out of the game. Well, not really like get rid of them, but just like kind of phase it out. You know how there's like old gear, every MMO has it. Debos are the next to go, and they want to push like Charizards and, you know, going forward with the new accessory. So there's that. Life skill gear, Preonne, still as usual. I don't think they made any announcements on that one. So if you're thinking about getting, you know, Preonne gear, here are the breakpoints. So what you look at, you see how in the tooltip it says life XP plus number percent or 8%, right? So the ones you want to go for are base gives 8% all the way up to try. Try gives 10%, and then up to hex, hex gives 12. So those are breakpoints: base, try, and hex. Obviously, the higher you go all the way up to deck is better, more mastery and everything. But if you're just looking for XP, those are the like soft caps in a way of like progression. So you kind of want to be at either one of them, try or hex, just because it gives you that. But then after that, mastery is all that matters for every single one. Just look at which one gives you more stats and which one, you know, would be better. I believe the way it goes is probably the same as like every other thing. So necklace comes first, belt comes second because it gives you extra weight, and then followed by rings and then earrings. But it really just depends which one is cheaper. Get that one first, because, you know, it's plus 25 mastery per, and that's good. Everything else, all these other gear irrelevant, has been irrelevant for like 7 years now. It's still in the game. Why? I don't know, but it is what it is. Okay, so next we're going to talk about Lightstones. The only one that really matters is probably Iridescent, because these are like at an all-time high right now. Why? Because for all of you who are life skills and grinders, you see how there's an Iridescent in here. I talked about this in another video for all the artifacts and lightstones I use. I'll leave a link in the description to that one if you care. But all of this, every life skill that's the, you know, best in slot or almost, requires an iridescent stone. So if you bought them back in the day for like 1 or 2 billion, you're great. But just know that everything that matters basically has an iridescent stone in it. And even then, like species damage for PvE grinders, PvPers, probably use them as well. So you do need, like, if you do all the different life skills and everything, you're probably going to get around like 8 or 10 of them. So that's where kind of big silver comes in. But ultimately, it is worth the investment. I guarantee you that, no matter what life skill you do. Artifacts, I believe they're actually going to allow you to... There's going to be a new one, I believe. Or not a new one, but maybe just like an upgrade for it. I remember them mentioning it. We don't really have too much information, but it's going to be like either a new one or new spots where you can get them, which is good. Enhancement materials. We have an event going on for 100% drop rate, and then all the life skillers get their XP buffs going on. I believe this is going on all servers, at least on PC. So yeah, prices of everything is a little bit different, not the norm. Primordial crystals, they went up a lot because people, you know how at the Heidel Ball they give everyone like cron stones, hammers, and everything. People are tapping. Rest assured, this is going to go down in the future, and people are going to get the things. But if you are not in a rush, then you don't need to buy these. In fact, I would probably recommend selling them right now if you don't need them. That's just simply because these are, you know, at an all-time high. So yeah, there's no need, unless you're really like 1 AP away from doing the next Adania boss. There's not really a big need to be enhancing right now, unless you're just doing it for the thrill. Okay, let's see what else is important to talk about. They talked about how harmonies are going to be 20 minutes instead of 15. So it kind of lines up with perfumes of instead of 15 is 20. So I think that is actually a good thing. What does that mean for harmony elixirs? The normal ones that are, at least we're talking about, not the immortals. I believe they're going to probably drop a little bit because you only need 3 per hour instead of 4. But then it's probably going, when the new grind spots come out, people are gonna go grind a lot again. It's gonna go up again and then stabilize around like 23 to 25, you know, going forward. So I expect a small drop when it comes out, and then over time it goes up again and stabilizes, and then that's how I see it. So yeah, I mean, if you're buying harmonies now at this price, it's really what, like an extra 3 mil an hour. Who cares? Yeah, aside from that, cool. Life tools, I don't think they really announced too much for life skillers. So if you either have pen or you don't at this point. One thing they're changing, actually, in terms of alchemy stones, is it's no longer, going forward, going to have the durability, so you no longer have to repair them, which is actually such a nice quality of life. Just having it equipped will give you the effect. Not having to turn this auto-use thing on, and sometimes forgetting it, just having it equipped, no longer with durability, such a good change. My god, it's been 10 years. It should have been like that since day one. But if you have been doing alchemy stone clicks and you've been following it ever since the launch, you should be around like 140 to 150 depending on how close you got it. I believe if you've failed everything, like myself, ever since the start, well, I actually did a couple of weeks, like maybe 1 month or 1.5 months of me doing taps on Resplendent and everything. But if you had a like Splendid early on and you failed everything, you're probably in your 150s, 160s. Every week, we just get closer to shining. So in about like 20 something ish weeks, everyone who has been doing it since the start is probably going to have a shining. So that's, bro, then like if you can wait 5 more months, I know that sounds like a lot, but I guarantee you, if you want to save like 100 bill or more, just wait 5 more months. And or you know, sometimes people might get it early with the 0.4%. It's dumb, I understand. Everything else is, you know, if you were buying a life skill one at 1 trillion, I think that's completely fine. I would not buy a destruction stone at 1.2 though. Protection is very niche for PvPers, and even then for PvPers you have to have like a full-on defense build. Life skillers play their own different game, so I think buying this, since, you know, like what else do you do, is probably fine. But destruction, a majority of people are PvEers in terms of like grinding, so under 5 months, if you have that kind of patience, then you could get it. People will probably be selling it at minimum. It will go down, I promise you that. These are probably going to be irrelevant in the upcoming month or two because, well, the only reason people use it now is to recharge the durability, and when that's gone, they give you a lot of the free ones. So like if you're playing on a seasonal character, you're probably going to be having a lot of these spirit stones that, you know, you just use it on seasons and then you're good to go. With that said, they did announce another mount coming out. I don't know when that's even happening, but when that happens, cool. They also announced new yellow boat gear for, you know, your Carrack and Morning Light boat. We don't know when that's happening either, but yellow gear is going to be the new best in slot going forward. Just soon TM kind of thing. And of course, with furniture, people need to stop buying the Blessing of Mystical Beast thingies. Do I even have that so I can show you? No, I don't. So, you know, Blessing, I usually like to talk about this. It's really just a convenient item. So you see how these are 60 mil each, right? Times 1. You get 1 hour, 60 mil. For all of you who have the Star of Nostos, the treasure item that allows you to go back to your house, you never need to buy these again. But for all of you who don't, decorations, stuffed lion head, this gives you the same thing, but, you know, times 30 to value. So you're basically saving a lot of money if you grind more than 1 hour at a time. And also, you know, just you have 10 uses. So it's like 30 hours for 350 mil, or you could spend, you know, what is it, 1.8 billion on the 1 hour scrolls to get the same value. Long term, like, it does add up if you are, you know, saving your silver, but just in terms of value, just getting these heads and then using it is a lot better. But with that said, that is all the stuff I wanted to talk about today. Whenever something new comes out, we'll talk about that, of course. And yeah, good luck on all your enhances. If you are saving for, you know, the new accessories, good luck. I hope you get it. And yeah, I hope all of you get your knobs and decks, and good luck on your gains, good luck on the grind spots, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace!